Pranams to everyone. There is this very interesting story about Adi Shankara Bhagavadpada. Once he was in Kashi, Varanasi, and one day as he was walking down the street along with his disciples, he saw an old Brahmin sitting on the veranda of a house with a book in hand, reading something, writing something, and Adi Shankara was curious. He wanted to know what this old Brahmin was up to. So he observed this old Brahmin closely and found out that this old man, he must be about 70, 75, this old man was trying to learn Sanskrit grammar. Now one might ask, what is wrong in learning Sanskrit grammar? Nothing wrong. But at this age, 70, 75-year-old Brahmin trying to learn Sanskrit grammar. You know, Adi Shankara looking at that whole scene and looking at this old man, so much of compassion welled up from his being, and with such love and kindness, looking at this old Brahmin, he said, "Oh, my old Brahmin, chant the name of Govinda, chant the name of Hari, instead of wasting your life in trying to learn Sanskrit grammar at this age." So his famous composition at that moment of time, everyone knows, Bhajagovindham, Bhajagovindham. His famous composition in this name. So he was looking at this old Brahmin, maybe ignorant, and with lot of compassion he was saying, "Oh Mudha, oh fool, chant the name of Govinda, Bhajagovindham," instead of trying to learn Sanskrit grammar at this age. And in this famous composition, that is where we are coming to, in this famous, very popular composition of Adi Shankara, Bhajagovindham, verse 9, the 9th verse from this Bhajagovindham is what we are going to talk about. The verse goes like this, 4-line verse, Satsangatve Nissangattvam, Nissangattve Nirmohatvam, Nirmohatve Nischalatattvam, Nischalatatve Jeevan Mukthi. What does that mean? Satsanga, Satsangha means company of the wise, company of the good, association with good, goodness. Right? What happens when you are associated with good people, good situation, good environment, surrounded by good people? What does that mean? What happens to one who is always in Satsanga? Now, Satsanga can be company of the wise people, company of the good people, good-hearted ones. It could be the company of nature, wonderful nature. It could be company with music. with books, with chanting of Bhagavan's names, sitting alone, thinking about all the big questions of life, right? Looking up at a night sky and wondering, what is this all about? What is this universe all about? Who am I? What am I? Constant thinking about all these things, sincerely wanting to know, wanting to find out, what does it all mean? What does my life mean? All this is Satsanga, right? Constant association with all these things that elevate you, that raises your consciousness. So what happens when one is always in the company of the good people or good things and nature and the whole lot of it? What happens? Satsangatve Nissangattvam. The more you are associated with good people, good books, good music, nature and so on, the mind slowly becomes non-attached. People use the word detachment, but the proper word would be non-entanglement. Of course, you will be involved in all that you do, but you will not be entangled. You follow? This is what happens when you are in good company. Satsangatve Nissangattvam. Non-attachment, non-entanglement. Now what happens after that? Satsangatve Nissangattvam. Nissangatve Nirmohatvam. Nirmohatvam, delusion. Free from delusion. The mind gradually becomes more and more refined and free from what we call delusion. Delusion of the mind. One doesn't know what is right, what is wrong, what works for me, what does not work for me, what is good, what is bad. In a relative sense at least. Deluded, clouded, confused. So freedom from delusion. And then what happens? Satsangatve Nissangattvam. Nissangatve Nirmohatvam. Nirmohatve Nischalatattvam. Now what is Nischalatattvam? The mind becomes absolutely quiet. No vrittis. Because a mind that is not entangled has detached itself from all that deludes the mind. The mind becomes free of all delusions. And when a mind that has become free of all delusions becomes quiet, becomes silent, becomes still, absolutely quiet. At the same time, very, very alert, fully conscious, fully aware. And then what happens? Nischala tattve Jeevan Mukthi. Mukti, Kaivalyam, means liberation, freedom. Not freedom from, but freedom per se. The very state of freedom. Jeevan Mukti. While you're alive, you become free. You become freedom itself. The ultimate liberation from all the cycles of birth and death. Birth and death, birth and death. It's a cycle. Finally, one is free from all that. That's Jeevan Mukti. So where does it begin? Satsanga. That is the absolute importance of Satsanga. Association with the good, company of the good leads to non-entanglement. That leads to freedom from delusion. That makes the mind absolutely still. And in that state of stillness, in that state of deep silence of the mind, who you are really, actually is revealed. It's not revealed to you because you are that. The realization happens that what you were looking for all your life, there it is. It was already there. That was your original state all along. I simply forgot because of all these distractions. Nothing wrong, but we mistook all this, got deluded, and got caught up. Nothing wrong, it's a beautiful creation. But getting entangled. So, that is the reality of Satsanga, the beauty of Satsanga. Therefore, it is very, very important for all of us to realize the importance of Satsang and all, as much as possible, be in Satsanga. With people, with books, with music, with nature, what have you. Anything that helps you look at yourself clearly, helps you raise your consciousness, helps you get less entangled, all that is Satsanga. Right? This is what Adi Shankara composed. It just came spontaneously, Looking at that Brahmin, he said, for God's sake, enough of all that. You don't learn Sanskrit grammar at this age. At this age, begin the chanting of the name of Hari, the name of Govinda. Do japa, Bhajagovindham. It applies to all of us. In fact, this, the realization of the importance of satsang and all that, one should begin much, much earlier when you were a child. It should begin then. So, Satsangatve Nissangattvam, Nissangatve Nirmohatvam, Nirmohatve Nischalatatvam, Nischalatatve Jeevan Mukthi. 9th verse from Bhajagovindham. Isn't that beautiful? Thank you so much for the patient listening.